Do you want to be able to look at any cookbook and be able to do some simple swaps to make it whole food, plant-based, vegan? Well, stick around because I'm going to show you how.
Look at that bubble.
That's sneaky, that bacon. I'm going to rip it into pieces. I'm going to make it more chicken-like. You could also just use quinoa here if you wanted to. You said the cookie dough is good.
So good, I've been eating it.
Did you leave some for baking? One trick to making these extra crispy when you're not using oil is to double batter them. For those of you that are allergic to soy, packed with butter, it's packed with sugar, all the things. So we have to do a fair amount of conversions here.
It's really good, it's just, I would have less spice. A new way to do tofu nuggets.
Oh yeah, uh-oh, here comes the hot sauce.
What is that?
Baking is like the easiest thing to convert.
It smells good. Soft.
It's good. Looks pretty cool.
Greetings and welcome to, or welcome back to PB with Jay. Here on the channel, we focus on all things plant-based goodness. And one of the things I see in the comments a lot is people asking how to do swaps for one thing or another, or how to veganize or make their recipes whole food plant-based. So I'm gonna take a bunch of recipes from this book, Snoop Dogg's From Crook to Cook. This is a cookbook my son wanted to look at because he just thought it would be fun and interesting. But when I first grabbed it, I was like, well, this is very far from being whole food plant-based. It's obviously not something we can do as a review for our channel because it just wouldn't be fair because we'd have to redesign every single recipe. But then I thought, wait a minute, that's fun for you to watch as well. Me taking recipes that are very much kind of in the standard American diet realm and telling you what I would do to make them healthier. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. And we've got everything from mains to snacks to a dessert. So I think you'll get a good overall feel of the spectrum of how I would take a cookbook and make it whole food, plant-based, and vegan. And this is how I got started making my own recipes anyway. I take all of our old cookbooks from the way we used to eat and just adapt them on the fly. I didn't even realize there were plant-based and vegan cookbooks until a couple of years ago. I thought this is just what I had to do. So I'm gonna walk you through my process of how I do that with a couple recipes from this book. Before we get into all that, I'd like to give a shout out to some of the people who've said hello to us in the comments down below. Marianne from Ventura, California, Barry from Richmond, Virginia, Sylvia from Italy, Sherry from Cloverdale, British Columbia, Terry from Australia, David from Ottawa, Ontario, Patty from Cleveland, Ohio, Denise from Indiana, Debbie from Armstrong, British Columbia, and Roxy from Barrie, Ontario. If you would like a shout out, all you have to do is say hello to us in the comments down below. Let us know who you are, where you're watching from, and give us something related to this video. What recipes are you looking for swaps for? What are the things that are bugging you? And maybe I'll find some way to work that into a future video. And if you want a bump up on that shout out list and a way to support the channel, you can join us over on the Mighty Network for a lot of awesome perks like the ones you see on the screen. And you can get it for the price of a crappy cup of coffee a month. All right, let's veganize Snoop Dogg. For our first recipe, we're going to make an orange chicken with white rice. Although because we're making this, there goes Annie. No, we're making it whole food plant-based. So what are we gonna use, Annie?
White rice.
Nope, we're gonna use brown rice.
No.
Okay, so.
Hate you.
You hate me? Well, see, I was about to give in and now I'm definitely gonna make brown rice. Nah, you had a real short window of opportunity there and you blew it.
And I respect your decision. I respect your decision, but I won't respect your decision if you choose brown rice.
I don't think you understand what disrespecting someone's decision means. I'm not sure what I'm gonna make for rice, but to make this whole food plant-based, obviously you could use brown rice. You could also just use quinoa here if you wanted to, or another whole grain. This is actually a really easy recipe on the surface. And if you're familiar with tofu, that's what we're gonna use for this. You could also use soy curls if you wanted to, but we're not using soy curls, we're using tofu. So all we're gonna do here is I'm gonna be making our dessert, which you're gonna see in a bit while we start this. And Woolie's just letting Malcolm go for a spin. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pat down the tofu. I'm gonna rip it into pieces too, so it's not just those square pieces of like what you see in a lot of tofu recipes. I'm gonna make it more chicken-like. So for the orange sauce, we don't need to change very much. It calls for a little bit of oil, and it's sesame oil. Honestly, it's only a teaspoon. I would opt to keep that in because for me, this is a flavor element. So for the honey and the orange sauce, I just used maple syrup. For the chicken, this is the biggest swap. So we're using tofu here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press the tofu just to get out a little bit of the moisture. This is the biggest swap because what they're doing here is he's combining like 2 eggs with like a 1.5 cups of cornstarch and creating a batter with that almost. So I don't need the eggs. I don't even need to make like a flax egg because it'll just end up being weird. Honestly, all I'm going to do is coat the tofu in cornstarch. That's all I need to do. And instead of using a 1/2 cup of canola oil and frying this tofu to make it whole food plant-based, I'm just gonna cook this in the air fryer. I'll put it in our air fryer for like 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes and then I'll check it. I like to get it a little crispy. And then it's gonna go into the sauce and the sauce will help soften it up a bit, but still give it that texture that we're looking for. Willie's working on the rice already, look at that. So now Annie can hate you for making the brown rice.
Get over it, kid.
Good job, Willie. What would you swap out the tofu with for the orange chicken? I mean, I would use a non-soy tofu.
Or you could do chickpeas, like an orange chickpea.
You could like air fry some chickpeas and then just toss it in the sauce too. Yeah, that'd be good. Good call, Willie.
Thank you.
And then once the tofu is ready, we're going to toss the tofu in that sauce. And then we're gonna serve this with the rice, and then we're gonna do broccoli somehow. We'll either steam it or air fry it after the tofu is done.
Broccoli? It's top tier.
The steamed broccoli is top tier.
What color is this, Dad?
That is brown rice.
Okay.
Your mom made the rice.
I still blame you.
It's spicy. It's the word on the street.
Right?
Okay, and he's gonna try it.
Evan's just a wimp.
Evan's gonna try it after. He's got a friend over.
Spicy?
I regret calling him a wimp.
Oh.
It tastes a lot like orange and stuff. And it's got a good flavor and spicy.
It's too spicy?
It's really spicy.
You're getting yogurt?
No.
You put some back?
Yeah. I'm not gonna be able to eat all that.
So you can't, so not for you?
It's really good. It's just I would have less spice for my personal digestive tract.
I really like that. I thought it was a little spicy. I'd probably cut down the spices for everyone else, but I would eat it like that.
It was good with yogurt.
Maybe a little bit less spice. It's nice that it's spicy.
Dad, don't
Pretty
forget
spicy.
to be tough. You were the weakest in the family when we tried it.
I'd leave the hot sauce where it is and just put in half the amount of the red chili flakes. And then go from there, depending if you really like spice.
Cookie time.
All right, so we're making a very treaty, it's called Royce PB-Chocolate Chip Cookies. And as you can imagine, this thing is packed with butter, it's packed with sugar, and it's packed with processed flour. It's got eggs in it, all the things. So we have to do a fair amount of conversions here. And just a warning, I'm not gonna make this entirely whole food plant-based because it is a cookie, but we're gonna reduce the sugar significantly. Especially, it calls for like 2 cups of chocolate chips. Which, to Willie that's just a Tuesday. But that's a lot. And it calls for a cup of sugar, half brown sugar, half granulated sugar. So we're gonna make those healthier options, but this is still a bit of a treat, just a heads up. I'll give some suggestions as we go of how you could maybe make them completely whole food plant-based. You could omit the chocolate chips. You could make it date paste, but
We have date paste. I made some.
What's this for?
oh, maybe I will use that. So the swaps I'm gonna be doing for this is instead of an egg, we're gonna make a flax egg, which if you don't know how to do that, you take a tablespoon of ground flax and you mix it with 2.5 tablespoons of water. I would do that first, like do that kind of thing when you're preheating your oven. It takes a few minutes for it to thicken up into the egg-like thing, and while you're doing everything else, in place of the sticks of butter, I'm gonna use silken tofu, Because it's looking for a fat source, and tofu is a fat source, and it's creamy. I think it'll work. What do you think, Willie? Silken tofu?
Yeah.
She doesn't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's better.
Okay. For those of you that are allergic to soy, what are some things you could use instead of the tofu for the cookies? I would try an avocado. Would be my first move to do that.
That would not be my first move.
No, why not?
That would be gross.
Well, what fat would you use then? What whole food fat would you use instead of avocado, instead of tofu?
Tahini.
But there's already peanut butter in it. So now you're just doubling up on that. I mean, you could just add tahini and the peanut butter. You could try that. I'm trying to make it fluffier and lighter though. Tahini is going to make it denser.
Whipped aquafaba.
You could try that. It's not really a fat source though. It's not going to do the same thing. Anyway, that would be my first suggestion. You'd have to experiment and play with it a little bit. But you could just swap out this all-purpose flour for whole wheat flour. I'm just going to make it an all-purpose gluten-free flour. For the sugar, I'm going to...
Did you see my date paste?
Should we use the date paste?
I don't know. It'll make it a more chewy cookie, a more cakey cookie. If you use coconut sugar, you might get more of a...
What if we blend the two? Because it calls for two different kinds of sugars anyway. Like a traditional cookie has half white, half brown, right?
Yeah, like we're not really making this healthy, right?
It's more treaty, but I'd like to make it as on the healthier side. 1/3 of a cup of this and 1/3 of a cup of coconut sugar. That's still 1/3 less than the recipe calls for in terms of sugar. And the 2 cups of chocolate chips, I'm going to cut that at least in half.
How many cookies does it make?
3 dozen.
3 dozen? Oh, wow.
We're going to whisk together all of the wet stuff into my hot squirt stand mixer. If you're interested in this stand mixer, I do have a code in the description down below. And then we're going to gradually mix in the flour along with the baking soda and salt. And then we're going to fold in the chocolate chips. You said the cookie dough is good.
So good at eating it.
Did you leave some for baking?
So good.
This only made 2.5 dozen. Did you eat a half a dozen cookies?
Maybe. It's so good.
I can't believe this called for double the amount of chocolate chips. So keep in mind that you have to flatten these down with your hands because they're not going to flatten the way they would naturally with butter inside of them. Just dampen your hand first and then they don't get as sticky.
Or I'll use a rubber spatula.
Or use a rubber spatula. And we're gonna bake them at 375 for 8 to 10 minutes. Just to switch the pans halfway through baking time just to make sure it's even baking, which is, ovens are weird. I'm curious to see how these will turn out. So after 10 minutes and flopping the cookies around, they're still a little bit soft on top. So I just turned the heat off and I'm gonna leave them in the oven for like another 3 minutes or so and see if that helps them out. But then I'm just gonna let them cool on the counter because maybe they'll be a softer cookie.
It would definitely be better if they weren't gluten free.
Right.
I guess it's so crumbly. Like, definitely the original recipe would be better.
Yeah, but I'm making a different recipe.
It's so peanut buttery.
But I put the same amount of peanut butter in he did.
Oh, you put peanut butter?
Yeah.
I guess the gluten free flour can hold it up as well. Hold it
Yeah.
together as well.
Well, maybe we'll try another batch without the gluten-free flour.
Okay, ready? Watch. Let's do it. Ready?
Yeah, that's just all peanut butter
That's
inside.
the inside. Mom likes it.
I like the dough too.
That's pretty good.
Don't worry, I'll eat them all, guys.
No. Oh, I'm just saying.
Annie likes them. The fact that Annie wants us to save some of these means that that's Annie approved all right there.
Evie, plant your strawberries.
Oh,
Can I have more?
yeah. This is a really soft cookie. The silken tofu were great. I would be curious to try that with whole wheat flour. It's good like this though. It doesn't have like, that's really good.
That's what we likes it.
Maybe you're looking to do another kind of swap in your life. Recently, I have noticed that my afternoon coffee gives me a little of the caffeine jitters that I don't necessarily want in my life. And so I have done a swap from an afternoon coffee over to mud water. What I like about mud water is it gives me all the energy and focus without all that stuff that I don't necessarily want going on with my mind and body at that time of the day. It's tasty and just chocked full of amazing stuff that is good for your mind and body. And I have a special little discount code that you can use down below off your first month or shipment or whatever it is you want, because they sell this stuff in a variety of wonderful, that's the wrong way, this is the right way. There's lots of different options that they have for how you can get this stuff. And they have a couple of different varieties, so check out their website to see which one might be best for you. Let's veganize some more Snoop Dogg. So for tonight's conversion recipe, I'm gonna try the recipe to get chip fried chicken wings. But instead of chicken wings, we're using tofu, obviously. So I pressed the tofu block overnight, and then I'm gonna cut into big chunks. Normally we'd make like nuggets for tofu, but I'm gonna cut them, actually I cut them a little short. I might cut them in half once more from what you see here, just to make them more wing shape. But I want them to be thick and chunky. Normally I would probably make more. So we're gonna make less this time, but make them chunkier. So for this brine that we're gonna soak them in all day, I'm halving this because this recipe feeds 6 and Annie's not here and we just need it to feed 3. So I'm reducing the salt to just a tablespoon. I'm reducing the water it calls for to half. I put in 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar, and then I reduced the red pepper again because my family thought the last recipe was a little spicy. And I didn't have a peel of orange, so what I just did was I put in a couple tablespoons of that orange juice from the recipe the other night. The stories in this book are really cool. Like for those watching, if you're a Snoop Dogg fan, which I'd be shocked if a lot of you were, let me know in the comments down below. So what's really fun about this book, especially if you enjoy Snoop Dogg at all in any incarnation, is the stories he tells about the recipes. This one's especially good. And it's about his cousin. And I won't ruin it, so you can kind of find it yourself. But essentially the idea is that one day they were eating chicken wings and they weren't that flavorful, so they put them in a crunched up bag of chips. And then he started adding chips to his batter. So that's what we're gonna do for this, but because we wanna make it whole food plant-based, what I'm actually gonna use are these unsalted tortilla chips. So, I don't know if it's actually technically whole food plant-based because these are chips, but it's definitely healthier than potato chips. Anyway, doing my best to show you how we modify things like this. Otherwise, it's just kind of how you would bread anything. Instead of buttermilk here, we're gonna make a buttermilk using just milk with apple cider vinegar. And by when I say milk, I mean non-dairy milk, obviously. Use whichever one you've got. And then you let that sit for a few minutes and it curdles and makes a bit of a buttermilk. One trick to making these extra crispy when you're not using oil is to double batter them. So if you have enough flour after, like I did, dip them back in the buttermilk and back into the dough. The flour mixture, it's late.
Not late.
It's late! And we're not gonna fry these, obviously. What we're gonna do instead is we're going to cook them in the air fryer. So that's gonna remove the oil from this recipe entirely. I'm just kind of guessing with the timing for the air fryer. I'm gonna do it at 400 for 10 minutes. The one thing to keep in mind with this Tyfer air fryer, which I have a discount code for down below, is that it cooks like 30% faster than most air fryers. So if you were doing this, you might want to put it on for like 14 or 15. This might still need a few minutes, but I just want to err on the side of less than more so we don't burn them. And then for side dishes, I just cooked up some asparagus in the air fryer before I did the chicken tenders, whatever, tofu chicken. And I just tossed them with a little bit of salt and some no salt seasoning, which kind of ratifies. Kind of ironic, just a little bit though. So that way, at least I can control the salt level, right? You can omit it if you want. And I spread some lemon on top too, just give extra flavor. And then for potatoes, just kind of cook them as they were. Just a little sprinkling of sea salt. Ended up putting that tofu on for another 5 minutes. What did Evan just say to me?
Another right shape. Very crunchy. I like it. A new way to do tofu nuggets.
I do like the idea of like if you wanted to be, a little treaty, you could add some chips to it, like salt and vinegar chips or something, or like barbecue chips.
That's good. Got a nice crunch. Good flavoring.
Yeah.
It's a good tofu nugget. Now we just have to create some kind of fun dip.
Yeah, undip. Doesn't look right to you?
So hot. Careful.
Is there supposed to be like more bumps on it?
There's quite a few bumps on there.
It's supposed to be like spiky bumps.
He said to put some hot sauce on it. You should try it on its own first, though.
Okay.
Hot.
He says to serve it with hot sauce.
Careful.
I hear that crunch. Pretty crunchy for no oil.
Yeah. It would definitely be better. Or that'd be more similar if you have oil, but very good.
Yeah. Now with some hot sauce. Can you put it right on?
Oh my god.
Maybe dip that on another one. You can eat like that? Alright, there you go.
It's so hot. How do you eat like that? Oh.
Well, we just made a good point. The one way you can like get it more to be a chicken texture, the tofu, is to freeze the block first and then thaw it, and it just does something. Oh yeah. Uh-oh. Here comes the hot sauce.
You're gonna burn your mouth from the heat.
But we could use something like this to make it more like a wing, where you toss in like a barbecue sauce.
Or you can just have a good dip.
Another good one. I like it. The next recipe we're gonna convert from old Snoop Dogg is not the MOMMA'S corn muffins. I say this a lot, baking is like the easiest thing to convert, especially when you're going whole food plant-based, because all these products, it's really just about the science of texture, right? The one challenge we're playing with here is we are going gluten-free, so Willie can try them as well. And all I'm doing for that is I'm swapping out the all-purpose flour with a gluten-free 1-to-1. In this case, I'm using the Robin Hood blend. The other swaps I'm using to make this whole food plant-based is it calls for unsalted butter at room temperature. I could just use a non-dairy margarine, but I don't want to because I want to make this a little bit healthier and just to see if it works. So I'm just using aquafaba. So this is just some I have in the fridge. It looks gross, it's nasty. I just smelt it. It smells the regular sort of weird that it's supposed to smell for aquafaba, which is chickpea juice for those that don't know. So I'm gonna just put that into the stand mixer and whip it together and let it get foamy and creamy the way that they're looking for with the butter. So we're gonna start off by preheating our oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. For the 2 eggs, we're just going to make some flax eggs. So I'm just combining 2 tablespoons of ground flax with 5 tablespoons of water, and I'm gonna let it sit for a few minutes. For the whole milk, I'm just gonna use half a cup of some almond and hazelnut milk that I made using our Milky Plant. If you're interested in having your own Milky Plant milk machine maker where you can make literally any plant milk you want to, there's a link in the description down below. And a little discount code. And last but not least, for the sour cream, he also recommends that you can just swap that out with whole fat yogurt. So I'm just gonna use vegan yogurt. And we're just gonna mix that around until it's nice and combined. Once that's good to go, we're gonna mix in that flax egg along with the milk and the plant yogurt. We're gonna move the mixture down to a low speed and add in the dry ingredients. We wanna beat this until just combined. He says his mixture is very thick. Let's see what ours looks like. We're gonna add the mixture to the muffin pans. He recommends that they're about 3/4 full. And then we're gonna bake that for 16 to 18 minutes, rotating the muffin tin halfway through the baking time. The muffins are done when they're golden brown and they pass the good old toothpick test. He recommends serving them warm, so these might actually end up just being like an appetizer for our family tonight.
It smells good. Soft. Squishy. We don't eat a lot of cornbread,
It's still steaming. You can see the steam coming off of it.
so I'm not really sure how it's supposed to taste.
But do you like it?
Yeah, it's like a little plain, but I
Like-
can add jam. And,
Cornbread's supposed to be plain.
yeah,
And you serve it with butter and jam.
I just put jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
No.
What do you mean no?
What is that?
The corn muffin. From Snoop Dogg. Corn is your favorite food.
It smells good. I can't really taste it because of the jam.
Oh.
Doesn't really taste like anything.
In a good way?
Mm-hmm. Can I have the other half?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you liked it?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Snoop Dogg corn muffins. How is it?
Tastes like corn.
So, success? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like you can basically put anything on it and it'll be good.
Yeah, it's sweet, or like you could just put butter on there too. You wanted
Uh-huh.
gravy.
Anything.
Mmm, I like it on its own. Mmm. Hi, Willie.
Hi. Life doesn't stop just because you're making a video of a corn muffin, you know. We gotta make dinner here.
Fair enough.
Some people in this house are starving.
I gave you an appetizer.
I know, but I'm starving.
It's really good with the jam. I can kind of, I get the gluten-free of this version of it.
Yeah, it's a little...
A little gummy. Yeah, but if you were to just use like whole wheat flour, but even I don't mind this gluten-free.
Oh, you don't use corn flour?
You use corn flour and white flour. It's like a mix. I like it. I like it a lot.
Alright, so today we're making billionaire bacon. We're using tempeh. Ooh, thing's a bit weird. And the Light Life bacon. So the ingredients are half a cup light brown sugar, packed light brown sugar, 1 teaspoon cracked black pepper, 1 teaspoon red pepper flakes, and 8 slices of bacon. So we got.
What are you gonna use though? We don't have brown
I already showed them what I used.
But for the sugar.
Coconut sugar.
There you go.
We're gonna use coconut sugar. First step, preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 Celsius. A full half cup, so we'll just do that. Red pepper flakes. I'll put on a little bit extra. How's mom didn't raise no. Just gonna have to eyeball it with this. That should be good enough. Now we mix this all up. Ooh, smells good. So we're gonna take one of these racks, kind of like a drying rack or a cooling rack, but we can do it. So this is how you take the bacon out of the box. Pull it out like that. It just fell off. Oh, it's like coming apart. Okay, we'll just like rip this whole thing up. What? Oh, what the hell?
What?
This bacon's not peeling off. What? It's
Here.
not even like, just try to like peel it off.
Maybe start from the middle.
roast dogs.
Okay, see? Be gentle, gentle. Just kind of ease
Well, that's
it.
not what the hood life is like.
Just be gentle. It is delicate though.
I don't know when we put this, but we'll take it away.
The Life tempeh,
Don't buy
it's
it.
wrapped in plastic and you open it and there's another layer of plastic underneath. Are you kidding me? But 2 of those will fit on one baking sheet.
Okay, so next we're gonna get the baking sheet ready, everybody. Put the tin foil on. Kind of looks weird, but good enough. Okay, now we're gonna put the racks on like that. I guess we're just gonna sprinkle it on, so. I'm gonna try to be more accurate with the tempeh. Oh, this one, nothing. Oh, we're gonna have so much. Cause like if you flip it over, then it's just gonna fall off. So there's still a bit extra. We could probably use a couple extra slices. And then take the sheet, we put it on the 3rd rack, like that. You see how it's like that? Yeah, like that. It's 11:02, so I guess I'll check it in 20 minutes.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
And it looks pretty good. I definitely don't do 20 minutes. Grab the oven mitt, flip it around like 180 degrees so everything gets cooked evenly, and then probably put it in for another 7.
Minutes later.
Look at this. The brown sugar is bubbling. It's pretty hot. Look at that bubble. Oh yeah. It's been in for 9 minutes. So I'm gonna let it in for like another 2, and then that should be good. So around 14 minutes, and flip it halfway. I mean, I don't really see a difference. Looks like the picture. It's good. Book's pretty cool.
Damn, son.
And I was like talking and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna try.
Should we get Andy to try this?
Only if it's bad. Oh, it's like candied.
Well, it's sugar and fat. I mean, it's gonna taste not bad.
It's candied. Ah, spicy. That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's got a kick.
Okay, you try.
Did you want to try the tempeh though? Why don't you try the tempeh too?
That tempeh sucks.
You don't like the tempeh?
Try first. Actually, it's not that bad, but like.
I'm more used. I like that. I mean, it's also covered in sugar, so it's hard to mess that up. That totally works for the tempeh. If you like tempeh and you don't want like a processed bacon, here we go. I mean, this is the recipe that Ethan wanted to use this book for, I think, right? But yeah, it's candied bacon. It's pretty good. I don't have any spice yet, though.
No, just wait.
Yeah, wait. Yep. Oh, okay.
I still got it. Still got some.
Yep. It takes a second for the heat to kick in, and then it's just like, oh wow, it's just a slow build that just keeps going up. That's sneaky, that bacon. It's still building. Wow. You could even, I mean, you could probably use date syrup for this if you wanted to make it healthier. It's just really getting something to help it caramelize. Maple syrup would work. We use coconut sugar. Either way, not a super healthy recipe, but that's how you would modify something like this. You love it.
I'll let Annie try.
I'm not trying that.
Okay, ready, Annie? It's just a little bite.
I'm not putting that in my mouth.
Here comes the airplane.
No. I'm not putting that in my mouth. I'm not putting that.
Please.
I'll try it when I go inside when
For the video. For the video.
I don't like fake meat though.
You barely get the fake meat taste. Just try it. Just put it in your mouth. You won't taste anything like that, Annie. No, you didn't get the...
I did.
You didn't get the sweet part.
I did. It's gross. Bye.
Disappointed. Disappointed. Oh, I'm all like white. Ah! All right. That's the video. Subscribe and stuff. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this video as I attempted to veganize or whole food plant-based-anize Snoop Dogg's From Crook to Cook. If you like this sort of thing and want to see me take other cookbooks and make whole food plant-based versions of them, let me know in the comments down below. I did recently find this community Mennonite cookbook at our farm, and I don't know, there's something here about making a video about this. If you all are interested in this, let me know in the comments down below. Because I think it would be a bit of a challenge and also kind of sort of fun. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? Do so below so we can get you into more of these videos like this and just watching along with all the fun stuff. Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. And obviously stick around because YouTube thinks that this video right here is the one for you to just, you know, extend your time here at PB with Jay. Watch a little bit more.